You're sitting at your desk, staring at your screen, and you decide to step away to grab a simple cup of tea. It seems like a harmless break, but sociologists look at that cup of tea differently. The rules dictating exactly how and when you get that drink actually reveal your level of personal freedom. Think about a highly restricted workspace. The tea cart arrives at exactly 1 p.m. You are allowed one specific cup, once a day. You don't ask for it. It is distributed to you on a rigid schedule. Compare that to a different office, where an employee can walk up to a pantry, tap a card, or ask someone to brew a fresh cup whenever they feel like it. In sociology, this maps directly to how much a workplace respects your humanity. The strict 1 cup a day rule creates an alienating environment where you are treated as a mechanism. The freedom to ask for tea on your own schedule is de-alienating. If you take this micro-level office policy and zoom out, you see the exact same power dynamics shaping India's broader socioeconomic class divide. The hidden, trivial rules of our daily workspaces act as a very clear indicator. They show us exactly who possesses autonomy to make choices, and who is expected to simply function as a cog in the machine. When we expand this idea from the individual office to the entire nation, we have to look closely at the lower and lower middle classes. These are the demographics navigating the most restrictive, low-freedom work environments. Yet sociologically, they are the ones who express the highest concentrations of nationalistic pride. There is a psychological substitution happening here. Because these workers lack individual autonomy and power in their daily routines, they find their pride and purpose by attaching themselves to the massive collective identity of the nation. You can see this lack of agency in the physical reality of their daily commute. When you are packed into a train carriage with zero personal space, your individual identity is completely submerged into the crowd. The reality is that the working classes essentially hold the contract for India's patriotism. They carry the emotional weight of defending the national identity, largely because their individual identity is denied to them by the system. As we move up the socioeconomic ladder, the relationship with the country changes entirely. Wealth buys workplace autonomy. The restricted employee eventually becomes the manager, and then the leader who dictates the very rules the lower classes have to follow. Researchers note a distinct inverse correlation here. As an individual's class, wealth, and freedom rise, their overt nationalism tends to vanish. This chart plots the relationship. As wealth rises, nationalistic identity drops. This is the H-1B phenomenon. For the upper middle class, a foreign work visa dissolves local patriotism. At the top, extreme wealth allows individuals to detach entirely, acting as global citizens undefined by borders. We see this global mobility embodied by India's tech elite, figures like Infosys co-founder N.R. Narayana Murthy, whose companies dictate the working hours and realities for millions while operating entirely on a global stage. Wealth buys the ultimate privilege. It gives you the ability to outgrow your national identity and exist with complete autonomy. We are left with a massive social paradox. Daily freedom is treated as a luxury reserved for the rich, while the heavy emotional labor of nationalism is outsourced entirely to the working class. Sociologists have identified a specific economic milestone where this dynamic shifts, the $8,000 per capita income mark. At this level, the state finally generates enough tax revenue to provide real infrastructure, and citizens gain enough financial security to look past basic survival. This bar chart compares our current economic standing against that critical threshold. With per capita income currently sitting between $2,000 and $3,000, we are still a significant distance from that $8,000 target. Reaching this level of income provides the breathing room for a society's priorities to change. The public stops being grateful for the bare minimum and begins demanding high-quality government services, reliable infrastructure, and a measurable rise in living standards. Today, because we remain well below that $8,000 threshold, millions are forced to tolerate daily compromises. They navigate toxic smog and a total lack of basic quality of life services just to maintain their livelihoods. Meaningful development reaches beyond providing an escape hatch for the elite through foreign visas. Real progress is the democratization of basic daily freedoms, beginning with the simple dignity of a cup of tea on your own terms. This ensures national pride becomes a shared joy across all classes, rather than a coping mechanism for those who lack personal power.